to be part of this tribute to a great man who probably changed the course of history. And what's even more exciting is the fact that he was born right here in Hamilton, New York. And Henry Marshall is going to explain a little bit about how we're trying to find his exact birthplace on Preston Hill. Before I introduce the first speaker, we have a change of plans.
We had down at the end of the program that Assemblyman McGee was going to present a proclamation. He's going to do that, but at a different time. He's got another commitment he has to go to, and of course that's what usually happens, isn't it? Yeah. And so what we decided to do is, we have two proclamations, which I didn't understand that. One's from the Assembly, and one's going to be coming later to the Senate. So we're going to put Mr. McGee, Assemblyman McGee, here first, and have that proclamation done, and then we'll keep the Senate one at the end. All right? Jordy, you want to come up with your picture?
Thank you very much, and thanks for inviting me here today. And I apologize for having another commitment, but that's kind of the way it happens most of the time. So we keep busy. I'm pleased to be here as part of the recognition of John Vincent Atanasoff and his accomplishments and contributions to the computer and digital technology. And I have a proclamation of the New York State Assembly in recognition of John Vincent Atanasoff, the father of the computer, for his invention of the electronic computer and contribution of ideas that sparked decades of innovation in digital technology. And it starts off with, whereas John Atanasoff was born on October 4th, 1903 in Hamilton, New York, and would later become a physics professor at Iowa State College, now a university. And then there's a whole lot of other whereases, which you will be hearing in the program that you've got scheduled here today. So I won't read all of them. And it ends by saying, proclaimed that I, Assemblyman Bill McGee, recognize that John V. Atanasoff for his creation of the electronic computer and willingness to share his ideas that revolutionized digital technology, dated June 6, 2015, and signed by myself, William McGee. So, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the presentation today. You've got a good one ahead, believe me.
Thank you, Bill. Now we also have another change in the schedule. Our illustrious Mayor, Margaret Miller, would like to say a couple words.
I just want to thank Jack for all the work he's done to make this happen, as well as our Historical Commission under the leadership of Joan Prindle. And I want to welcome you all to our village and to our community, and this is an historical event that I'm proud to be a part of. Thank you.
Mid-60s towards the late 60s, three innovative professors at Colgate, Dr. Hallgrove, Dr. Brackett, and Dr. Reynolds, who's not here today, but his wife, Shirley, is here someplace, started the computer science program at Colgate. It was quite quite the innovation at the time. I was lucky enough to have all three of them as a professor. As Charlie just said, I don't think I taught anybody assembler's language. It may have been in your class, but nobody. It was a tough one.
That isn't what
Dr. Brackett, after his retirement, started the Brackett Foundation with his wife Liz. They went to Southeast Asia and did a lot of work educating the Karen refugees from India, Burma, Thailand. They were recognized a couple weeks ago at Colgate's graduation with honorary degrees for their work. And no further to say. I'd like to have Dr. John Brackett say a few words.
Oh, thank you, Jack. Leading up to the main event today, I was asked to mention even another connection of Hamilton to computers. In addition to Colgate educating the father of the father of the computer, he was also one of the very early liberal arts colleges that started a serious program in computer studies in 1970. It was a very exciting time, the age of Aquarius, Timothy Leary, and LSD, student sit-ins, and communal living of various forms, and yes, the birth of a machine you could talk to. Aye, but what could you ask it to do? Babysit my young child? Develop a cure for cancer? Tell me a new story about myself? Well, maybe not. But Alan Turing, considered by many to be the father of computer science, and maybe an also for the father of computers, felt that very soon, and he felt this in the early 50s, that computers would rival human intelligence. They would soon become smarter than we are. And so it was a bit of a scary time as well. He developed a game called the Turing game, in which he felt, well, the computer's task was to deceive a human being into actually thinking that they were communicating, not with a computer, but with another human being. He felt that was quite possible. We're still working on it. It was in those heady days that Jim Reynolds, then a professor of psychology, and I, in the chemistry department, wrote a proposal to the National Science Foundation supporting the development of computers. And if I may take just a moment, I will tell you a rather amusing story about that. The government was interested in having computers into colleges and universities, and there was an engineer from Bell Telephone Companies, AT&T, whose name was John Pierce, and he was called into the government and suggested well, they set up a committee to advise the government as to how to do this, and ultimately this was called the Pierce Committee, and it ended up advising that the NSF start a program associated with this. Anyway, a few years afterwards, we had a guest lecture series at Colgate, and we had this guy down to speak to us, and we were out in the inn later on after the speech, having a beer or something and talking about it. And one of the fellows asked me how we got started in computer science, and I told him the story. The name of the committee was the Pierce Committee, and when I said the word Pierce, the guy who was the invited lecturer was, in fact, John Pierce. And it was only at that instant that I made the connection. In any case, We wrote a proposal, one of the very early liberal arts colleges which did, and the rest is history. Charlie joined us. He was one of the original people, along with Jim Reynolds and myself, and we started a program. Really, it started, I guess, most closely in, the proposal was written in '69, and the program started in 1970. The rest is history. Today, we gather to celebrate the first man to bring together the four elements